Hi, Andrew from Connected Digital World here. CD Projekt Red recently invited me to be one of the first people in the world to play The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and I have to say it's really good. I also sat down with Damien Monnier from CD Projekt Red to talk about all things The Witcher 3, and there's some brand new gameplay footage in there too. Enjoy. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Oh, always a pleasure to talk about the game. I can do it for hours.
Perfect. We'll hold you to that. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us your role?
Yes. So my name is Damien Monnier, and I am a senior gameplay designer on Witcher: The Wild Hunt.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the game first of all.
Where to start? It's a huge world, huge game. We're talking easily 200 hours plus of content if you want to do everything, but don't let that put you off though, because you can if you want to focus on the main storyline, because we are an RPG at the end of the day. It's a role-playing game set in a mature, dark fantasy world. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
That's pretty good. And you play a character called
Geralt. Geralt the Witcher. So what is a Witcher? A Witcher is a lone bounty hunter, you could say. You're the guy that people come to when they have a problem with monsters. There's a monster that's running havoc somewhere. They need you. They will pay you a certain amount, and you can choose whether or not you want to go and deal with the monster. It's not just about killing monsters. It's also about how you deal with people. There's a lot of interaction with people. The choices that you make will have great consequences in the world. Even later down the line, after maybe 10, 20 hours, things will change based on something that you said earlier on. It's a lot of fun to see how things move.
Okay, and obviously the subtitle for the game is The Wild Hunt, so who or what is The Wild Hunt?
The Wild Hunt is basically a group of... I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah,
if you've read the books, you're sort of familiar with who they are, but they are the antagonists, or one of the antagonists, because a lot of people are quite bad in the world of The Witcher. Like I said, it's quite a dark world, dark story, dark characters. And so the Wild Hunt is a group of guys, riders from another dimension. They come in. They are great beings as well. They're far taller than the average human, and you get to, as well as trying to find. You have to find a girl in the game. A girl called Ciri. She has a very special place in your heart. You must find her before the Wild Hunt finds her, and you have to find her because she can save the world, and only she can do that. So you must find her. You must find her before they do, and as you do that, you understand who the Wild Hunt is as well, because you have to deal with them a little bit every now and then, but they are extremely powerful.
Okay. We'll say no more on that because we don't want to spoil the game for anyone.
Yeah.
It's very violent.
It is quite violent.
So obviously there's a particular scene early on in the game in a tavern,
Yes.
which kind of makes people think differently of him because of the amount of violence.
Yes.
Is he quite a deep and emotional character, you think?
Absolutely. But to go back to that scene, now of course it is a violent game. Why is it a violent game? Because the world of The Witcher, and it's set on books, is violent. It's violent, it's, like I said, it's dark, and it's very mature. And so we have to do the IP justice. And we don't just put violence just for the sake of it. It has to make sense. And it makes sense in that particular scene that you talk about. I don't want to spoil it, but it sets the tone. It sets the tone really well. You understand who you are. You understand how people see you. And you also understand how people, simple peasants as well, might react to certain scenes where we see the poor barmaid being attacked.
Let's talk about nudity in the game.
Yes.
There's obviously, it's a Witcher game. There's nudity, pretty much about 10, 15 seconds into the game.
Yes, it's true actually. It is true that 10-15 seconds in the game you see her butt, yes.
And she looks quite good. Let's not argue about that.
Yes.
Is there a lot of nudity in the game?
Again, it's like violence. It makes sense. We'll have it. Our goal wasn't, we've got to show a butt 15 seconds into the game. It's really the scene and it sets the tone between you and another person. I don't want to spoil it, but it explains how you feel, or how Geralt feels about her. Because straight after, you must find that person, and that's how we do it. We said, this is who you are to her. She's naked with you, therefore you must be in love. Go find her. And yeah, okay, I want to find her again. Not only is she beautiful, but she's precious to me. So it makes sense, okay? But it's very important to point it out, because being mature, when we say we're a mature RPG, being mature doesn't mean swearing and showing breasts. This isn't it. Being mature is taking the player, taking you seriously. The themes that we have, the quests that we have are very mature in a sense that they may reflect some issues that are currently happening in the world. They may, I don't know, someone that just lost his child, or even you saw it happening. If you have a kid yourself, it hits you here. And this is what we mean by mature. Take people seriously. The decisions that you make are not easy decisions, but they are mature decisions, and you need, as an adult, as you know, sometimes you have to make decisions. So that's what it is. Mature is not just saying the F word and showing a butt crack.
Definitely, it was certainly in context from what
exactly. So when you do see, to answer your question, whenever you see nudity, it's because it makes sense.
You mentioned decisions and consequences. There obviously are quite a lot of decisions in the game that you can make. How much does that actually change the story and the world around you?
Quite a lot. Quite a lot, to be honest with you. But the good thing about this is that we will not specifically highlight a decision. Say, okay, if you pick this decision, it's going to be something good. And if you pick that one, it's bad. If it's neutral, it's so on and so on. We just say, here are some decisions. Pick. It's, like I said, it's a role-playing game. You have to craft your story. What would your Geralt say in this situation? Or maybe what would you say? Maybe you want to see it as yourself. And so certain decisions can have massive impacts on the world, on other people, on whole villages, and it always makes sense. Our goal is not to say, okay, you picked option A, these guys will die of a plague. No. It makes sense. Even, like I said, 10, 20 hours, 30 hours down the line, you understand that, oh yeah, this happens because I said that. It always makes sense. So.
And you've got Charles Dance doing one of the voices.
Yes, he's amazing.
Huge actor at the moment, obviously, with Game of Thrones and quite a number of other shows. What was it like working with him, and can you tell us a bit about his character?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't get a chance to actually meet him. The writers got to, I think a couple of guys got to see, but it was all done off-site. But I can tell you that when we got his lines, it was just, and the guy is, he's done a lot of theatre, he's classically trained, and you can tell he is incredible. So much so, I think we had to do some pickup lines for other languages, because certain languages were simply, we thought they were great, and then we got the English one with Charles Dance, and then we went back and we said, no, listen to this, more like this, and then the guy's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I wish I'd met him, to be honest with you.
And when I do, what then? I shall give her what she deserves.
So tell us about his character.
And yeah, in his character, Emerald, he is the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard is a faction, you could say. They are attacking the northern realms. He's a very, very strong character, hard to read, very hard to read. Very similar to his Game of Thrones character, without being the same. It is far from being a copy, but it's true that his voice gives him a certain something, and you'll see when you play as him. And he will at some point want to speak to you. You may go and meet him, and from there a lot of things will happen. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but he really is one of the key characters, and he has a lot of tricks up his sleeves.
Brilliant. Tell us 5 things that everyone has to know about The Witcher and why they should play it.
Why you should play it? Well, first, number one, I think, is because, and that's the reason, in fact, why we brought you to Scotland. huge open world. A good part of it was influenced by Scotland, not just the nature. We took a lot of reference images and so on, but also influenced by the weather, the Scottish weather, and then from there it's what kind of people live in Scotland. You know, okay, so you think maybe they are physically tougher, again because of the weather and the condition and the wild nature around them. Maybe they have bigger beards, and then before you know it, you're crafting this whole world just by understanding who lives there. And that's number one. This huge, beautiful world that just begs to be explored. Absolutely, that's one of the big things. That's something I love to do. Even now that I'm working on it, I still love just going somewhere, just see what's there, because I still haven't seen the whole game, to be honest with you. And number two, I would probably say the writing. The story really is so well crafted. I work with some incredible writers. The quests that, like I said, I haven't played all of the quests. In fact, I'll tell you something. We have 36 different endings around that. The way I say around that is because I don't know any of them. I don't know how the game ends. I don't want to know. I haven't seen any of them. I don't even know what the last, say, 5-6 hours of the games are going to be like, because I didn't need to work on it. Some other guys on the team took care of some of the things. Of course, the writing team knows, the cutscene guys, the environment guys, but quite a few of us decided not to because it's such a good story. I'm going to play the game when it comes out. I've been working on it for quite a while, and the fact that I'm going to want to play it, I mean, that's a sign that it's a solid story and it's fun and there's a lot of stuff to do. Number three, I would say probably the well, actually it's linked to the story, the decisions you make and the way you see the world around you changing, or people changing as well. It's quite fun, even if sometimes it's for the worst. At least you understand and you feel like you've done something. You're not just in this museum where you just walk forward and it's look left is beautiful, look right. No, the world will change because of you, so you really feel involved. Number four, probably the combat. I really dig the combat. It's responsive, it is quite brutal, again to reflect the brutal world that we have. You can slice people in half, you can cut heads off. Always satisfying. Always satisfying. It
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
No, it makes me sound like a psycho, but when someone wronged you and you chop his head off, you're like,
feels good.
I'm the Witcher. Yeah. So that's number four. And number five, I would say, because you can play in some key scenes as the girl that you are chasing. You chase, you're trying to find Ciri. Like I was saying, you must find her before the Wild Hunt finds her. And in some places, for maybe half an hour to an hour, we'll let you play as that character. Different mechanics, different way of fighting, and from a story point of view, it's great because you see it from her point of view. You see the story from her point of view. You understand her struggle. You understand how much in danger she is. And when you go back to Geralt, it gives you this drive to go find her. But it's a lot of fun to play as her as well. I really like her. She has some really cool tricks. So there you go, number five.
We look forward to finding out more in the next couple of months.
Yeah, you will.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thanks for watching. Why not subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the link on the screen now? And why not check out some brand new gameplay footage from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt?